Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American Challenger League. I am Reed Rapid Melton, and joining me is Alex Malphus X Manley. We're going to hop into our fourth game of the evening as LMQ Tienza iBUYPOWER take on email support. How you doing, Malphus?
I'm great. We've had some good games tonight. I played in an awful game tonight, or at least I played awfully. Shoutouts to Morbizan for the hard carry with the Oriana. And but now we're coming back in here. This promises to be a game of a different caliber altogether.
And we were actually waiting on one of the players from email support, so I was making a straw poll as we were waiting to petition you as their substitute, but it didn't pass. And we actually do have everybody here from email support, so nice to have Adrian here. In case you guys didn't know, Do More is actually temp name 0626. aka Sticky Rice, Adrian, X Kelsey, Silsal, all those nice names. But he's now Do More. We'll have to see if he does more here on email support versus LMQ. So we got bands coming out here. Notice anything a little bit different about these bands, Malphus?
Yeah, they banned the Fiddlesticks.
Yeah,
Why they banned the Fiddlesticks?
Yeah, the Fiddlesticks, primarily banned, of course, against Azingi in the jungle. We actually saw Illusion, the jungler for IG, attempt to play Fiddlesticks over the weekend at IEM, but didn't work out too well. It turns out that having a fear send you the worst possible direction away from Fiddlesticks is probably not going to make that a super big high priority pick here anytime soon.
The thing is that all you have to do is if you're playing jungle Fiddlesticks and you get behind the guy, that's when the fear becomes a buff because you can just direct him. So personally, I think that Fiddlesticks is a lot better than people give him credit for being, but I agree that he's not on the same level as, say, your Elise, which is going to get first pick immediately locked in here for no name.
All right, yeah, the first pick Elise, no questions asked about that one. And really, you've seen Elise be pick and ban for basically the last, 2 or 3 months. With the Elise nerfs that are currently proposed in the next patch that should be coming up here in a few days, Elise will be played basically nowhere. It's a really big hit to pretty much all of her ratios, and I don't know. I'm not a big fan of just straight up nerfing champions, but we'll see if they give her some extra stats back. And for now, she is very, very strong. And of course, as the first pick there for LMQ, got a couple of other picks there as Renekton and Annie locked in. So trying to save their mid pick for last as usual, but still really strong, just pretty standard picks there. No Leona though for more. It's kind of a surprise.
Yeah, they're going with Annie. You said they're branching out. You're putting on some new champions, so I like that. I like that look. They do still need a mid laner and an AD carry as well. So immediately, you see the AD carry support combination got locked in first thing for the side of email support. Yeah, they grabbed it with the Caitlyn, they grabbed it with the Thresh. They knew exactly what they wanted here. So now we have to kind of see where this goes from here. One of the best things about having a jungler like Azingi who likes to make things work, like Karthus jungle, stuff like that, is that you end up with a little bit more obscurity in your picks than you normally would think. If you show a Karthus, you don't necessarily know if it's going to be mid lane or jungle Karthus, and you never know. He could have another pick. Like maybe it's not top lane Rise or mid lane Rise. Maybe it's jungle Rise. Maybe he's that next level. Of course, if they do lock in the Wukong, that's gonna be a much more likely pickup. And indeed they do. They get Wukong and Rise. But again, Rise, there's that ambiguity. We're expecting to see a lot more of him in the top lane, but he could very easily go in the mid lane as well.
But oh no, there's a champion that LMQ. It's like a requirement to ban it every single game, and that is, of course, Yasuo. So unless Zhao Weizhao decides to pick that, and it's certainly an option as he has the last pick here, Yasuo is the anti-LMQ. They've lost more games to Yasuo than I think any other champion, and I want to say that, especially with Yasui being called Yasui more times than not, it's a pretty strong option for email support to finish off their lineup. They already have that big top lane Rise, and if you're looking for a counter to Renekton, Shyvana started it because you had to play a super tank top lane, but I think Rise is about to finish the job here as the era of tanky mages top lane may just be upon us.
It's entirely possible that the amount of control that Rise has against Renekton is just so strong. Renekton tries to initiate, and if you're quick on the draw, you can root him before he's able to stun you, before he's able to use the second mobility spell to get in all the way and force the initiation. You just start with a Sapphire Crystal, and you just walk into lane, and you just pound overload, and you just nuke him down. And even with as much sustain as Renekton has, it's really, really difficult to stand up to that kind of just withering assault that comes out here. So it's going to be the Nidalee here mid lane for Wai Chao. Again, it's going to be Ackerman on the Renekton up in the top lane, and now we're just waiting to see the final pick here, looking for another solo lane. Although it could be Wukong top, Rise in the mid, potentially, if they do decide to lock in this Skarner, but sort of expecting another solo lane pickup.
Yeah, I would expect that. It was actually much to learn, the original mid laner for email support, who brought mid lane Wukong back to fame, a great melee AD carry kind of player. But as he is no longer with us, it is Yusui. And I can't imagine. Yeah, there's the lock in on Yasuo, so pretty perfect pick. And the Wukong was kind of a big tell. Whenever you go for a Wukong, it's pretty much just sets up for a Yasuo pick. And LMQ, they're not afraid. They're going to let that one go through. And this is the battle, of course, between email support and LMQ, one that's actually been pretty close. And I feel like email support have a lot of losses, but almost all of those losses were incredibly close, very hard fought games that just didn't wind up going in their favor. But with the Yasuo locked in, the LMQ killer, we'll have to see if Yusui has what it takes to take down one of the best teams in NACL.
Yeah, this is gonna be quite the matchup here. They've got the Stampede composition coming out a little bit with the Sivir. With you got Renekton, you got Elise to kind of help out with that. And also, when Sivir speeds up Annie, it just makes it so easy to get those initiations down. It's a lot of this game is going to come down to who's able to get really solid initiations first. Generally speaking, with Yasuo, you need 1 to 2 champions that can set up his ultimate, and they've got Thresh and they've got Wukong, and that's basically all they need to kind of help him out. And that plus his own knockup, he's going to be able to ult high priority targets pretty much all game long, provided that they're able to catch someone out of position, or not even necessarily out of position, but just be really beastly with their mobility and getting around the map. So this is going to be quite the matchup to watch, given these two team compositions.
All right, well, we're going to hop into this game here in just a second as we enter the spectator delay, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll have this game and one of the best games of the entire evening coming up later on. I'm not going to spoil that in case you guys didn't know, but if you want to find out the answer to that and a whole lot more info about NACL, feel free to check out our Reddit thread. Should be posted in chat here a bunch of times, or you can just do it by searching. The internet's a good tool to use. You can also find out more information about NACL by liking us on Facebook and following us on Twitter. You can see links to that right down below the screen. You can also see links to our fabulous sponsors. You can check them out right down below. First and foremost is Loot Crate. For $13.37 a month, you can have a crate full of loot and the coolest nerd swag gear and goodies all shipped to your door. That's a monthly subscription service that gives you tons of cool loot, and you can check out all of that loot by heading over to lootcrate.com. You can also see the little bird down below the screen. It's also the word and an awesome manufacturer of the pinnacle of gaming peripherals. You can click on the bird or head over to phoenixcollection.com and find out all about Phoenix's fabulously crafted mouse, keyboard, mouse pads, and headsets. Some really good gear by heading over there. So if you guys will check them out and stay tuned. We also have a couple more sponsors. Malphus, why don't you shout them out?
Sorry, I drew puppy aggro. So as we also see, we like to thank LawClass as well for their support of the North American Challenger League. You guys can check it out. Check it out at www.lawclass.com. You can get in on some group lessons. You get an hour with one of your favorite pros teaching some of their favorite champions. It's a good time. I'm usually there hosting it as well, so I promise it's quality product. And it's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. Also like to thank Monster Cat for providing some of our music here. Big shout out to those guys. They've been huge supporters of the esports community and League of Legends in particular for quite some time now. So big love out to Monster Cat. Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us here today. LMQ versus email support will be your next game coming up after a short commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the North American Challenger League. I am Rapid. I'm here with Malphus X, and we are getting into our fourth game of the night as LMQ, Tienza, iBUYPOWER take on Email Support.
LMQ in the blue, Email Support in the red. Ready, picking up their starting items and heading out here. So we do see that Sapphire Crystal start. And No Name has decided that Elise is so strong and is so in need of the nerfs coming in with the next patch that he's going to jungle naked.
You know, this actually allows him to save that starting 475 gold for other items that he'll probably need maybe more. But I feel like maybe making a trip back to base would be also another good strategy that he should possibly employ. Now, Moore is going to have to employ some sweet little juke strategies. The hook lands on the Moore. How do you know he's there? I don't understand. But one more auto attack and it's going to be enough to take him down. Flash over the Dragon Wall, though. Anybody gonna flash after him? It looks like Moore may have gotten himself out of the craziest situation I've ever seen, but he's running towards the wrong side of the map.
Yeah, Dragon Raider's the only guy that tried to flash on that one when he got back in to get the root down, so Moore is going to go for the execute. We'll be able to get this one done, and yeah, just like that. They end up trading flash for flash, support for top laner, and they do not give up the first blood. So honestly, at the end of the day, that's going to end up going in favor of LMQ, because Ryze is already so insanely gankable in the top lane, where you have an aggressive early jungler like Elise, and a top laner that can set up ganks really, really effectively like Renekton. And Moore is just going to hang out with Vasily and try not to die and be careful with his positioning. So, okay.
All right, well, No Name did recall and pick up, the standard jungler starting items. Didn't forget his trinkets, so finally has those items to start things off, but might be a little bit late to the start of his red buff, which is, of course, where he's going to be forced to start. And there's more to help him out just a little bit. He does get started there, but a little bit more help for Azingi, whose jungle Wukong will get some help from Dumore and Zig. They're going to take a trip back down to the bottom lane, and everything should be relatively even as far as the start to this game. But you'll actually notice a little bit of an interesting lane swap. Ackerman, top lane Renekton, now playing in the mid lane. I'm pretty sure he's still, playing as their top laner, but an interesting lane swap to try to deal with Yasui.
This is just how much they did not want Renekton against Ryze. I feel really confident that that's why they're doing this. This is a very interesting matchup, as you see. Wei Xiao, with the heals, just able to kind of ignore the creeps and just go full bully mode on Dragon Raider level 1, as he knows he's got the root instead of overload, so he's missing a lot of damage output.
Yeah, you can see Dragon Raider is just being zoned off these creeps, still taking spears, and this is not the matchup that Dragon Raider wants. Keep in mind, it's a Doran's Blade start for Wei Xiao, knowing that he can really bully Ryze out with that item.
This is very interesting to see them going for this kind of lane swap. I had not considered them doing something like this, but it makes so much sense, and we'll see exactly how effective it is. Dragon Raider has only scored one creep score thus far, so as far as at least delaying his very, very early farm, so far so good.
And yeah, Ryze has a horrible time last hitting. Ryze, one of the worst turret pushers in the game because he has such low attack damage. He's now at risk of being dove. There's a cocoon to land. It's actually going to be Wei Xiao that tanks up the turret, forced to flash away. I think No Name was supposed to draw aggro, but hitting someone with a cocoon doesn't draw turret aggro. So Wei Xiao was forced to flash, but it's first blood on a very far behind top lane Ryze.
Yeah, this is going to be brutal. He's only got 4 CS, so he's going to miss, the creeps that died to that while he was dead. He will be able to teleport in almost immediately, but even then, he comes back in, he's got a ward, and he's got 4 biscuits, and that's it. This is not a whole lot of combat stats to be able to bring into this lane against an Italy that already has a second Doran's Blade. So Wei Xiao going for a lot of early lane dominance here.
Yeah, 2 Doran's Blades, and this is actually really interesting because you can see with only 9 ability power, he is actually playing a more bruiser-oriented Nidalee. And this is super cool to watch because previous to this, we've only ever seen California Lulz try to do this. Now, No Name's going for a gank here in mid. Ackerman actually in a little bit of trouble, flash from the cocoon, but there's Wukong right in the back for a turnaround. Yasui actually dropping down pretty low. It's No Name versus the world. Renekton actually will go down. There's the counter kill, flash over the wall. Azingi's gonna counter flash, just needs one more second there for the Nimbus strike. Is he gonna find it? No. No Name actually. Oh, the stealth in here from Azingi.
He wants it.
Not gonna dive.
Not gonna dive in. That's pretty smart as well, as they try to take that one down. And Yasui got a lot closer to getting out from that one than it looked like. If you're close enough to a wall when you use that not Steel Tempest rather, Sweeping Blade to go through your target, sometimes it will put you out over the wall on the other side. So he was very close to be able to get himself away from this one. There's the flash flame on Vasily.
Oh yeah, coming bottom lane, we're gonna get a Ziggy stealthing around over the corner, but immediately stunned out there by Moore and taking the lantern out. Zingy puts some pressure on. Actually, Vasily taken down very, very low.
You see we come back into the mid lane, getting chunked down quite a bit here by Ackerman, trying to use as many sweeping blades as he can to generate as much flow as possible. But thus far, I mean, Ackerman, you see, he gets the better of the trade until he walks in and takes a tower shot, and that's going to help even it up a little bit.
Yeah, and really Renekton can now be that big lane bully. He's in a shorter lane, so that actually means that Yasui may have a little bit of an easier time because Renekton may have a little bit of an easier time because Slice and Dice just gets you so much further towards your turret. The only problem is that Yasui hasn't really been shut down too much. He's still up in CS. He actually has the most CS in the game, almost, unless you count Vasily. So we've got top lane though. Dragon Raider's gonna flash away from the repel, but eventually the venomous bite. No Name picking up a kill on Rise between his turret. Dragon Raider couldn't even make it back into lane.
And this is what you need to do, honestly, against a Rise. His early game is, I mean, he's got a decent amount of damage if he's just able to spam overloads on you, but that's about it. He's got no mobility. He's extremely squishy, and it's really, really easy to set him into this kind of situation where you're just able to abuse him again and again. So this is really, really nicely played here by LMQ, punishing that weak early pick.
Yeah, Rise incredibly weak early on, especially vulnerable to being dove or ganked if you can push out. But now, oh, they're actually doing the, I don't want to call it the Mac Noon, because I saw him do it first in Korean solo queue, where you just keep ganking the laner as he comes right back into lane. And so it's good on a Zingy to be up here knowing that this is where the pressure's going to be. But you got to take a look towards mid lane as Yasui going in onto Ackerman. That was a lot of damage, forces out the Dominus, and actually maybe some kill potential. Yasui wants to go in for another trade, but has to watch out for that full Fury stacks on Ackerman's Renekton.
And Ackerman, that was so calculated. I mean, that was so calculated. Yasui almost had enough damage in that sustained lockup. They go in on a No Name.
Yeah, they will actually find a lot of damage on a Dragon Raider instead, and he will be forced to back out. He's going to eat his biscuits, but he's now out of biscuits. Mid lane though, we've got Yasui going to get dove there. Tries to turn the damage around. He's kiting Ackerman through the turret. The last turret shot hits, and Yasui just outplays, well, more outruns Ackerman. He takes him down.
That was just, Ackerman overestimated his damage output. Oh, the stun down!
Yeah, Dumore is going to be behind his turret. Last stick of Ignite takes him down, and more will fall. Unfortunately enough, it is going to be another kill. Now 4-2. LMQ really winning out on, well, some of these early trades, but maybe Ackerman needs to reassess things. Might even see a lane swap, but it shouldn't happen just yet.
Just huge burst damage coming out there from Moore, facilitating so much of that kill. He and Vasily have been playing so well. Now Wei Zhao looking to go behind the tower to chase down Dragon Raider. Probably just get the proxy farm and zone him away from the creeps as they die to the tower. So Dragon Raider is behind and getting further behind with every minute that the game progresses.
I just want to point out the focus on the early Dorans. There's currently, 4 Doran's blades here for LMQ. Just want a lot of early poke, but the big deal is not the items, it's the champions, and No Name's presence across the map has just been absolutely massive from LMQ. This is like, I remember the first games that I cast of LMQ when they were playing against TSM. Just watching No Name and seeing, I think he was playing a couple of games of Lee Sin there. He was just a monster all over the map, had some crazy mechanics, and just the amount of pressure he was able to put on for his lanes, even if the lanes themselves didn't win, it was just so much to force his opponents to deal with. So having the same ability here in this game, we're going to see Ackerman still losing out on some of those trades. Yasui is saving some of those minions to disengage.
Exactly, yeah, he's being very, very smart with the use of the sweeping blade, and he's also being smart with just the use of the knockup. If he finds an opportunity to go for the knockup and get some free damage and then just jump himself back out, he does it. No Name, abusing the early Elise power, already has the Spirit of the Ancient Golem, and with that, and being level 7, is able to solo out the dragon. So very, very nicely done there. Didn't even drop down the pink ward, so they had no way of assuring that there was no vision.
NXT continual trades, one right after another, but now we have No Name coming in there, trying to punish Yasui. Wind wall to block the cocoon. Yasui, he's got some moves.
Down the bottom lane.
Yeah, there's actually just all over the map. Zig finally finds the gank from Zingy. Now we actually have the ace and the whole spell shielded, so no more damage onto Vasily. Probably will be able to stay into lane, but good job on Zingy. Turning that bottom lane around, or at least further in favor of Zig. Now he's down to about 10 to 15 CS sometimes, but he does have that kill to make up for it.
So now you see, I think that he used the ultimate to try to create some extra space so they could go for the dragon, and the dragon wasn't there. I was like, that's not necessarily the best.
Yeah, you can see Vasily kind of 1v2ing, just trying to clear the wave out there, and great timing from No Name, realizing, hey, there's not a lot of pressure here, I can do this dragon, and of course being rewarded by not having it taken away after that kill down bottom. from Azingi. So Azingi right now is still looking to have that sort of no-name level of aggression here, and you can already tell he's been scouted out and walked by that ward in the river while he came to gank mid.
Oh, the flash timbers!
There's just so much action. I was kind of taking a breather there. I was like, all right, so we're done with action for now. And I look bottom lane, and all of a sudden there's crazy stuff happening there. Yasui continuing with the trades down mid, but we've got Azingi making the return gank to the bottom lane. He's not going to have anything, but back in the mid lanes where the real action's at, we've got a last breath giving a little bit of a refresh there. Turns around, but it's just not enough. Yasui lives again with 18 hit points. He tried for the turnaround Steel Tempest, but just couldn't hit it in time.
Oh man, that was just so strong. They were both so incredibly low. Ackerman got taken down to almost nothing. Yasui was down to below nothing. As far as I'm concerned, it was just that flow refresh coming out from the ultimate. Huge change on Yasuo's ult a few patches back, and you see exactly how big it comes up there for Yasui. If Ackerman had been one step closer to the tower and been within tower range and taken tower shots during the entire time he got locked up, that would have been a beautiful kill for Yasui. But as it is, Ackerman knew exactly how far he could continue chasing that one in and came up short, and that was just fantastic play.
Oh, No Name and Zhao continue to put the pressure onto Dragon Raider, now taking down his second tier turret up top. And turret in the mid lane, basically the highest health of any turrets, and the only outer turret left alive here for email support. His bottom lane turret, of course, did get taken down a little bit earlier after a nice stay from Vasily in lane. Waited until Moore got back, but now we gotta have to watch out for Dragon Raider. One more auto attack, and it's Zhao picking up the kill. Notice he's going for this double Doran's Trinity Force in Italy coming out, and very, very effective. That early aggression and pressure against Rise really shutting him down.
And he was just trying to get out and get a ward into his jungle. But that's how far behind he is right now.
Moore is coming in though, and there's the immediate last breath off of the knockup. Yasui's taking a ton of extra damage, tries for the all-in, but cannot find it. No Name there for some moral support, but Moore there for the most moral support of all.
Indeed, Moore's support is always more. This is too hard for me. Wei Zhao is just...
Unless Moore is a bad dog, and then he's an immoral support.
Aww. So you see, Wei Zhao is just continuing to dominate the top lane. He lands one javelin. It's good for about half of Dragon Raider's health. He's going to pop the ult just for the wave clear and get some health back out. But here's the Sivir ult down to the bottom lane.
The bottom lane going in. There's On the Hunt. Zig going to take the lantern and actually escape. He hits the net before the spell shield on Vasily. Putting the nets right into No Name, who is right there in time. And now Do More are going to do a little bit less as he heads back to base the hard way. A double kill off of a huge rotation from No Name.
Man, that's... and Azingi's in so much trouble right now. That I feel so bad, right? Azingi's gonna go down. Like, there's nothing for this one. He ends up going into the Boomerang Blade, but like the Summoner heal was great. Like, Do More did so much work to get Zig out of that one, and Zig thought that he had made it out, but then the No Name just came around from the back and just bopped him. I mean, that was the most pure, straight up example of a bop I think I've ever seen. And Dragon Raiders better be careful, or he might be the next one on the list if Wei Zhao turns around and gets the takedown.
Honestly, if you're spending your time ganking a Rise that is 0-3 with 50 CS at 13 minutes, you'd probably do a few more things with that, I feel. But for the time being, Dragon Raider, you can see Zhao is actually baiting him to overextend by staying in the brush. Man, this is a horrible lane to play against. Zhao just really trying to abuse every single second of how far Dragon Raider is behind. So a merciless performance top lane, but now we've actually got a death sentence on him where they pull him into the trap, which actually prevents that knockup from going down. So he should still be able to find a kill, but we got kills going down on the other side. No Name finally dies as Do More will flash in for the somewhat unnecessary auto attack. There's Yasui picking up the follow-up kill on Moore in the background, and overall it's a 2 for 2. The Dragon about to respawn. Dragon Raider's going to come down and try to turn around as much damage as possible. He's in the brush, but sets up right enough for some damage coming in from Yasui. Where's the last tick and throws down the Ignite for the turnaround kill. And now he's got a very ulted Renekton trying to come in here, penetrating some of that extra armor by throwing down the last breath and still looking to come in for any further initiate. Do More's got a death sentence. Is it going to land ward over the wall just to make sure there's no crazy counter ganks from somebody who may possibly be alive? But Death Sentence will miss, and Ackerman will back away.
Man, this is just... What do you even do when No Name is playing this well? I mean, 7-1-0 right now on the Elise. He's just all over the place, picking up so many kills, setting so much up for the rest of his team. And Wei Zhao, you see the teleport coming down from Dragon Raider, but he's so far behind that Vasily just walks him down, even though Dragon Raider finds a brush to take refuge in that doesn't have a ward, it still isn't enough for him to get him back out. And now
Oh,
he's
but now
that big
Ziggy in a lot of problems. Zhao is there, but you can't chase in Italy. The flash over the wall into the Rune Prism. I take it back. You can chase in Italy. If you got 3 champions there and a few summoners to burn.
Yeah, with sums and hard CCs. Oh, Zig.
Oh,
Goodbye.
Zig. Poor Zig. He's got chain CC for days, and No Name is so strong. Double penetration items, as well as looking for that makings of a Zhonya's. He's pretty stacked, and he's putting the pain down on a Zig there in that situation. And now with Dragon Live, No Name's going to take this down in like 2 seconds. Oh my
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Moore's helping out, but I mean, Moore is just there for moral support again. Oh, now see, that's in my head. That's a problem.
It's pretty good. I sat up all night thinking of that, and I thought to myself, you know what? Finally, people will be tweeting at Rapid Casting. Wow, I can really tell you've stepped up your game, and now with puns like that, I can finally enjoy watching League of Legends. No, I'm just kidding. That doesn't happen. But if you want to tweet at me, I'm okay with that. Just saying. Things that email support may not be okay with are having 3 turrets down this early into the game, and now we've already got a last breath right onto from Yasui onto Moore underneath the turret. I'm not sure if it's necessarily going to be enough to keep him alive as he does fall down there. No Name, the overload from long range. Dragon Raider dunking from half court. It's going to be the
second one.
Another overload in there. He's just throwing hoops from downtown. Ackerman, the last
Vasily
LMQ to escape. I don't know where Vasily is, but he's picking up kills behind the turret. Zig, it's like this is the goal line. You can't. That's like, I'm not sure if that's goaltending. My sports analogies are running out here, Malphus. But there is maybe that's offsides. I don't know.
I got nothing. I can't come up with a metaphor for what, because there's not many ways to describe what Vasily just did without just like descending into I don't know, like criminal terms. He popped the ultimate, right? Zig was just standing under his tower. He had barrier. He was just hanging out, farmer creeps under the tower, and Vasily was just like, okay, I'm gonna kill you now. Pop the ultimate and just ran him down. Just ran him down under his own tower with barrier and just killed him. I mean, that's just it's absurd. That's how far ahead he is right now. He's able to do that and get back out.
And now we've got Yasui overextending just a little bit in the mid lane and tries to throw out the wind wall to dodge the cocoon, still dodges it. And it's going to be safe for now, but for the time being, we've got Zhao with a Trinity Force completed and those Ionian Boots of Lucidity trying to go up against Dragon Raider, who actually has picked up a few kills, but still with no Rod of Ages here by the 17-minute mark is a little bit behind. Let's put it that way.
All right, so ward control being wrested away, and Moore's up in the top lane.
That time it was actually Moore doing more up in the top lane, helping Zhao pick up a kill, but to be honest, Zhao did almost die. Adrian trying to stealth in there, but once again, you can't chase in Italy. I shouted him out, but do more also in the mid lane now. Still staying with his AD carry. Zig's kind of learned the hard way that he probably needs to find a buddy to stay close to, because he's gotten ganked bottom so many times.
Yeah, this has not been fun for pretty much anybody on the side of email support. Zingy looking to get initiation down. He's gonna get eaten. He's gonna eat the cocoon.
Yeah, and they go right back in, but an immediate repel there. Zingy is still trying to escape, but it's just not going to be enough. Now, No Name will actually die here, which is pretty darn impressive considering how strong he was. But Yasui will fall here. There's a nice summoner heal. Keeps Yasui alive. There's a box out there. Ackerman does break one of the walls, but it's just going to spin and win all over. Zig does get knocked up. Yasui on the run. Two more is going to try to do as much as he could do. Throws the flay backwards. There's the lantern. Trying to come back in, and they actually do finish him off over the wall. Mr. Tibbers engaged, but a nice takedown from Zhao will take out Yasui. And now, do more. Going to try to do as much as he can, but ultimately it is just not enough. A double kill to finish off that fight in favor of LMQ.
He's trying to do it again.
He is. This time he's in the base. He's like, how many turrets can I dive? The answer is always one more. And now is Zingy trying to usher him away. Flash is in there and actually has a lot of damage, but you're hiding against Vasily. Ace in the hole, and then he pops the spell shield, but it's just still not enough damage. Vasily being silly, but making it out alive.
And Zingy's going to be really sad that he gave up on that one, thinking once he popped the spell shield that he was going to be able to get it done. But Zig just isn't dealing the kind of damage output he needs right now. He's not level 11, which is huge. The base damage on Ace in the hole goes up a tremendous amount every time you're able to rank it up. So still being only level 10 completely denied him that kill. That's really unfortunate.
All right, and coming into today's games, I thought this was going to be a good game, but I just didn't know how good. It's 21-11, and as far down as LMQ were, or as email support were starting the game off, Dragon Raider especially, it's nice to see still an incredibly strong performance from Yusui, who on Yasuo, like I said, kind of the bane of LMQ for so long, still has that positive score and, well, unfortunately, the only positive score here for email support. So, temp name army down a few members here. We'll see if they can raise their ranks as this game continues. Here's the all-in coming in from Ackerman. I guess it's not much of an all-in if you're going in 1v2, but to be honest, Ackerman probably shouldn't be too scared about that. Oh, no, he's gonna repel in. There's a nice knockup, but he's standing on top of the lantern. He can't click it. Behind.
He honestly could have just walked away. I think he could have just walked away. Vasili's gonna kill Ziggy, and this is starting to get kind of routine at this point. Oh, he's can't BM.
He's gonna let the minions kill him. Finally turns around and does him in. A nice death and is through the minions onto Moore. I don't know how you land that, but the execution, Moore almost survives, but it's going to be a 3-for-1 globally here. Ackerman's still very strong. No Name's going deep underneath that turret. Cannot find a kill, but actually the re-engage is Ziggy tries for it. Will get a nice knock up there. Ackerman will die. No Name, though, will still stay in there. He's going to pick up a kill onto Adrian before he can get away, and now it's Vasily there. Once again, behind the turrets. Where he's been most of this game, helping No Name take it down.
Oh, Yusui with a beautiful wind wall to try to take this engagement.
And now he's going in, he's not stopping. Alright, that's how you know the game may have progressed to a point where not a whole lot more forward mobility here for email support. Their spam filters just aren't working. They're working overtime, but it's just not enough. And Vasily clocking in for extra hours this game, 5-1-4. Finally making that Sivir work, something that has been a little bit rough at sometimes more than others, but Vasily now, Zig, he's going to net himself up over the turret, but there's actually going to be the Shurelya's pop, ace in the hole on Vasily. Oh, Zingy's going to stealth on in here, trying to make it in. Zig in the back is not going to be alive. Just sent us the spider links, but it's still not going to help you out there. Zhao flashing underneath the turret. He gets creep blocked so badly, but is able to pounce away.
The number of just 1v1 dives is mind-boggling in here. There's a DFG on a Ziggy.
DFG, but he's going to stealth out, grabs the lantern, and with that Doom passive from that DFG on him, he's not going to take any more magic damage, or will he? Zhao underneath the turret as Zingy gets the shutdown, as the Nexus will fall, preventing LMQ from doubling up email support in their kill score, but still it's a 29-15 performance and 6-0 in turrets as LMQ, Tienza, iBUYPOWER taking down email support.
Can we shout out the 15,000 gold gap at the 22-minute mark? Can we just talk about that for a second?
Significant, Malphus. Something else that's also significant, a 14-3-2 performance from No Name, who really started that snowball early in the jungle and just carried it through. So congratulations to just about everyone who played that game. Yusui also with a mostly positive score, and even Adrian evening up his score at the very end, finishing the game with 69 CS. So on that note, we're going to take a trip to a quick commercial break, and unfortunately this will be the last commercial break of the evening. The Cloud9 HyperX Tempest versus Cursed Academy game is going to be rescheduled. It's a little bit late in the evening for some of our East Coast players, so we are going to be considerate of that and reschedule that at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Of course, that's going to be, 3 hours later, 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So if you guys are wanting to tune in on Thursday for that game, it's when it will be rebroadcast. Of course, a little bit earlier than you guys are used to, but still should be an absolutely incredible match. So don't forget to come back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time for the start of yet another day of the last week of playoffs here at the North American Challenger League. And so I think that's going to do it. Do make sure to give a shout out to our sponsors at the very end, Loot Crate, Phoenix, Wall Class, and of course Monster Cat for some epic music, and of course DJ Prius for some epic music as well. If you guys want more information or just want to know when NACL are going live with any of our content this season, make sure to hit the follow button right down below the stream. You take your mouse, you go up to the big red NACL logo at the top, and then you just slide it all the way down until you hit the follow button, click it, and then we'll let you know when we go live. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. If you guys missed any of tonight's games, including some of the more spectacular performances from guys like my wonderful co-caster MalphusX, you can head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/NACL Esports and check out any of the VODs from any of the games this season. I know it's something that a lot of people requested, so now you have more NACL VODs then you know what to do with. But I know what to do, and that's to close things out. So if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow me at Rapid Casting. You follow my wonderful co-caster at MalthusX. We also had at League of Studio and at EGAD or Feed as casters here this evening. But like I said, that's it for tonight. So on behalf of myself, Malthus, EGAD, Studio, and all of us here at the North American Challenger League, we'd like to thank you all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.